What the hell are you two doing?
There we go. People get annoyed when I drink, so now they won't be annoyed. I'm Mike.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Jason.
And these are my straws from Asia.
It's not working. Just go sit. It's just here.
What did you do?
Man, this is not distracting.
And welcome to the first DLC arcade review.
Welcome. Please sit
wonderful.
down, enjoy yourself. And the first DLC review that we're gonna do is called Limbo.
Limbo. So this game, I really enjoyed. Let me just start by saying.
This arcade game.
This arcade game.
Can you put some gloss on here?
So the story is that a boy travels to Limbo, uncertain of his sister's fate, so if she's, I guess, gonna go to heaven or hell. And it is a good looking game. Not that the graphics are amazing, they're just so different and eerie and creepy that they're fun.
It's the way they're used, really. It's all about lighting. There's the foreground, background, and the actual level where you're walking, and it like goes in front of the camera, and the camera movements are really subtle.
Now, before everyone gets super excited, let me be a downer here.
This is just a video game.
They're not real people in this game. It made me very, very disturbed at
you
points.
get nervous. You get really nervous.
Yeah, you get really nervous.
Especially with that spider.
And it's only for Xbox Live only right now.
Some of the puzzles are goddamn hard.
Yeah.
But let me just say, from my personal take, if you've played Little Big Planet, and this is what Limbo essentially is.
Or also, apparently, if you like the game Braid, you'll also like this game.
I disagree completely with what he said about the Little Big Planet. To me, it's not. I didn't even think about Little Big Planet while playing this. I thought it was a unique
Only because
experience.
it was a side scroller.
You don't get chopped in half, blood.
If you talk about the enemies,
the puzzles are way harder, and they're more a creative way. Yes, they're both platformers, but that's it. They're both platformers. That's it.
It'd be like saying Mario and the Big Planet.
Yeah, it's completely different than Little Big Planet.
No, I disagree.
In my opinion.
I think it's pretty much Little Big Planet.
No.
Okay, so the whole game is in black and white, and everything's in silhouettes, black silhouettes, and sometimes you can see your character's little white eyes, which are kind of creepy. They seem to glow. So there's a backlight, and that's pretty much all. There are some lights that shine down from above you, and you need to use those strategically when you have this particular bad guy, this worm, that takes you over. Ooh.
It lands in your head, and then it makes you go left. And then you can't go right until you hit the beams of light. And then it can keep going over and over again until you eat these little critter guys that will take off the slug from your head. Very unique.
The first thing I noticed in this game is it felt a lot like Alan Wake for some odd reason, because you're in that forest world and it had those sort of sound effects in the background.
Yeah, the eerie music and stuff.
The level of detail on the three-dimensional side of things, like it seems like it goes back forever, but there's just so much fog there, and every once in a while you can kind of peek into the background. You're only playing on one platform level, but it goes way, way back.
Things are like way out of focus, and there's this film gradient on it too.
It almost looks a little bit like old film. It's very simple. There's no HUD or anything like that. Like, there's no health, there aren't any maps, there's no dialogue.
No tutorial.
No tutorial, nothing. You just
nothing.
go. And you can only jump, and then you can, there's an action button, so you can like pull things, turn things on, and that's it. There's nothing else that you can do, really. It's about $15. Unfortunately, of course, you do have to buy like a $20 card, essentially, depending on how clever you are, I guess. About a 3 to 5 hour game, maybe more.
1,200 Microsoft points.
1,200.
I've heard it's Game of the Year. So, like,
no, that's
give
ridiculous.
me a break. Game of the Year.
Maybe arcade game of the year.
Yeah, maybe arcade game of the year.
So I guess you could say it's the best arcade game this
so
year
far.
Big game about trial and error. To solve all these puzzles, you die frequently, and you have to die. And for the most part, I didn't find I got annoyed. Only once or twice, I was like, ah!
When she couldn't figure something out, I would come in and be like, oh, it's this. And when I couldn't pass something, she would see it right away. So
I played it alone, and I didn't have a Catherine to give it to. Figure it out. I didn't have that.
You don't have anyone?
I don't have any. I'm all alone.
What happened to your brother?
He doesn't love me.
There's also electrified surfaces that you have to avoid. You have buttons that you can change the gravity with, and sometimes it just changes every 5 seconds. There's also circular saws that you can run into. There's spikes that you can run into. You can fall down. Stuff can fall on you.
These little tribes people that are trying to kill you too.
They look like other children though, which is creepy. And
just kind of remind me of Lord of the Flies. I know what that huge fly at that one part.
You give to yeah, that is cool.
It was cool.
And a lot of the game I find is about timing.
Well, what's amazing about this game is the solution to the puzzles are not always obvious.
And sometimes there's like 4 or 5 or 6 different things you have to do to complete it. It's not just like, oh, I press this button and then I can get up there.
Some backtracking sometimes.
But I'm okay with it. It's not irritating backtracking.
When we finished the game, we finished at, what, 70% done?
77 or 78.
Something like that.
You only get like 3 achievements.
Yeah, and you collect these little,
They sound like eggs when they break. They're little glowy white spheres that are on the ground.
You should be looking for these while you're playing the game, but you kind of forget about those halfway through. And then at the end you finish it and you're like, oh yeah, 100% done, and then all of a sudden you're like, gotta go back? And then you go back and you can find some here and there, but some of them are really tricky.
And a lot of people are complaining about the ending of this game, and I personally, I loved it.
I liked it. It was trippy.
It's just a unique game, I feel.
But if you've played Little Big Planet, then you've played this game essentially.
I don't think so.
Nah, I disagree.
You don't want to pay the 15 bucks, but you want to see what we're talking about? You can download the demo, check it out. We, after playing the demo, were like, oh my god, I need this for sure.
So what would you guys give it out of 10?
I give this game an 8.5. It loses points to you just because it's short. I really did want it to be longer. Like, Braid was longer than this, and it was an arcade game as well. I would have liked to hear a little bit about the story maybe at the beginning. It is cool that it just sort of drops you in. Part of me really likes that, but part of me is like, if I hadn't read the description of the game, I wouldn't know what the crap's going on.
I'd give it a 9. It is short, but this is just an arcade game, and you're only paying $15 for it. I'd rather pay $15 for like 4 hours of amazing gameplay than pay like $60 for like a mediocre shooter. So that's why I gave it a 9. I really like this arcade game.
So I give the game a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's very original. There's no story really here except the fact he's looking for his sister the whole game, and that's literally the story. Yes, the death scenes are very gruesome and whatnot, and this does make the game a little bit more of its own thing, but unfortunately everything else I felt was like Little Big Planet.
If you compared this game with another game, what game would that be?
Little Big Planet. It's a Little Big Planet.
Thank you.
Today we're doing Limbo. Today we're doing Limbo. Today
I
we're
did that.
doing Limbo. Today we're doing Limbo.
Sound like Xena Warrior Princess.
I know.
Good.
Okay, so
today for
story.
so let me do
So,
this. So
the story.
for today
So,
for the,
the
today
story.
for the
So,
first.
Okay.
Let
So
me do
today we're doing Limbo.
No.